I want to go back to one of the first conspiracy theories in modern American history. One that kind of is the granddaddy of them all. One that maybe can tie all these together. This is the murder, slide please, of John F. Kennedy, President of the United States. And I want to talk about whether or not there's any veracity to this conspiracy theory. And I want to go through the details of it.
I'm already hooked just off that word, dude. I'm fucking in. The way you set this up.
ChatGPT gave me that. John F. Kennedy, I'm going to give you the high level again. Motive. Means, motive, opportunity. That's how you determine whether there's any truth to this. Motive. John F. Kennedy comes into office after Eisenhower. Eisenhower, notorious anti-communist, notorious fighter of the Cold War. John F. Kennedy comes in, not really so interested. But he's young, and his advisors are all leftovers from the Eisenhower administration. They're older guys. They really want to fight the Cold War. They want to spend money. They want to have the military. So they give him a plan from Eisenhower to invade Cuba with a sort of a false flag, rise up, Bay of Pigs type situation. It goes poor. He signs off. He's a young guy. He doesn't know these guys. I trust him. It goes incredibly poorly. It backfires. They do not take down Castro. It's a huge embarrassment for America, a bad state in the Cold War. JFK, from that moment on, starts to sideline all these old Eisenhower appointees from the CIA, from the FBI, from the military, from the government. He said, we're going to do things different. We're going to do a more peace-focused thing. We're going to talk to Khrushchev. We're going to negotiate. I'm going to talk to Castro. We're going to try and de-escalate the Cold War.
Boom. Boring.
Knew it.
He gives a speech, famous speech, called the Peace Speech, seen here. I don't remember the exact location and date. I had it written down. But he gives a peace speech where he says, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We're all mortal. We need to work together or we're all going to die.
Except for the Democrats.
That's what he'd say now.
Except for the Democrats that operate that pedophile pizza.
Yeah, he said those guys. Get those guys. But outside of that, he gives this peace speech. This is considered a pretty iconic moment, and it's galvanizing for those leftover. Here, you can say right here. June 10th, 1963, the peace speech, where he lays out his vision for the future, where it's about less intervention, less war, less overseas, more focusing on America, more. This is a problem for those in what you might call the deep state.
The day we lost our balls.
So, a few months later, John F. Kennedy, while driving through Texas, is shot in the head and dies.
The conspiracy is he's still alive.
Dude, he's with Tupac.
I heard at Coachella there's going to be a Tupac and JFK hologram.
Driving together. So I was doing research for this on stream, and I was like, yeah, the conspiracy theory that JFK was murdered. And they're like, no one's murdered.
That's funny.
He didn't kill himself.
I think JFK killed himself. John F. Kennedy did not kill himself. No, JFK's alive with Tupac and the original Avril Lavigne.
So here's JFK in the car,
You know about
and with Lyndon B. Johnson, who would succeed him, and his wife, Jackie Onassis.
Wait, was Lyndon in the car?
Lyndon was in the car.
Damn, I didn't
front
know that.
seat. Immediately after he's dead, Lyndon B. Johnson assumes power as president. And within a few months after that, we're in the war in Vietnam, folks. Suddenly we're in the war in Vietnam, into Syria, into later on Iraq, into Afghanistan. The military-industrial complex had reasserted control through their killing of JFK. I looked into this as much as I could. Here's the thing. It's because it's all so fucking old. And all the film is so grainy and all the data it's very difficult to see if there's any, it's just people he said, she said on, I heard a puff of smoke from the grassy knoll. And I heard the things I could find that were even slightly interesting or inconvenient were the doctors who operated on him immediately after the shooting have signed autopsy notes that contradict what later became the official story. So they looked at him and they were like, the bullet angle would be here and da-da-da-da. And then later on, it would be like saying that it only could have come from where Lee Harvey Oswald was, this building, and there's no other shooter. And so there's something there, but they could have just been wrong in the moment. I couldn't really, it's like it's a heat of the moment type thing. And
they were part of the deep state. Or they weren't.
Or they weren't.
They weren't part of the deep state.
Which part of the deep state or not deep state were they in?
And then here's the weird part. Lee Harvey Oswald, the man who shot him from the third floor of the building, he did, this is proven fact, a few years earlier, defect to Russia, go live in Minsk for a year, then come back and live in Texas. This is during the height of the Cold War. This is a real thing that happened. And there's confirmed reports that somebody named Lee Harvey Oswald, but that didn't look like him, this is what they said, had gone to the Russian embassy twice leading up to this. So that was weird. And then there is official statements from Lyndon B. Johnson saying whether or not there's any truth to this, we can't be playing up the Russia angle here because it could lead to a war where 40 million people die in an hour. Like there's something weird about it. There's definitely, when you read about the time, there's
what is even the most most crazy conspiratorial implication of that? Is it that Russia did it? Like, what are you saying?
Yes, I'm saying everyone thinks it's a conspiracy that CIA killed him because they wanted more military action. But when I looked into it, there's like a lot of who was this guy, Lee Harvey Oswald? He has like a lot of proven connections to Russia. He's constantly in contact with Russia. He's living with a Russian landlord. He moved his family to Russia and then moved back. There's like this weird connection. He could also be happenstance and he's a crazy guy. Or he's very pro-Russia supportive and then shot separately. But,
I don't want to ask too many questions. I don't like to think critically. Sure. But is the idea that Russia killed Kennedy or that he was hired? But was it a collusion between the government?
It could also be a lone
conspiracy?
Actor who,
Nobody's conspiracy that he was working for
the
the U.S.?
normally is that the CIA.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Yeah. Put them up.
That's the normal one.
Well, I think it's the ones I've heard. This is the first time I've
working
heard
for the Russians.
Yes, dude. Yes, dude. So there's that. I mean, there's the angles of the shot. And the other thing is that Lee Harvey Oswald, immediately after killing him and then getting captured, is then himself killed 2 days later by a guy with mob connections, Jack Ruby, before he is able to testify about what happened, before Lee Harvey Oswald.
So the Italians were in on it.
So maybe the mob's involved as well. There's this web of connections. It's not that I can find any conspiracy theory in this that I fully go on, but it is like everyone involved has proven connections to higher authority. So it's like everyone's getting.
But that's what conspiracy theories are, right? It's
Yeah.
it's the idea that the evidence is convenient or circumstantial enough and that you could connect it to someone's potential gain from this is happening, and then you can say that they did it. Like in the case of the JFK one, I feel like I've heard CIA did it, FBI did it, Mossad did it, and then now I've heard Russia could have done it. It's like maybe the guy just fucking did it, you know?
Maybe.
I think they need to pay.
They all need to
Oswald?
John Wilkes Booth.
Why do we ever talk about that one?
That's a conspiracy?
Yeah.
No, why do we make one up? Isn't it interesting?
John Wilkes Booth is innocent.
I don't think
how many
Abraham Lincoln killed himself.
presidential? I don't think Abraham Lincoln killed himself.
I want to make a claim. I think the play, My American Cousin, was so poorly written and boring that Lincoln offed himself, and then the playwriter made up the John Wilkes Booth story to save his professional career.
Yeah.
Because he's like, my play's not.
My play's not that boring.
It's not that bad.
So playwrights.
My play is so because you wouldn't want to be the guy who wrote the play that's so bad that the
That
president
killed one of the
himself.
greatest presidents in American history.
Yeah,
you don't want that
that's
to be
tough.
your stain, so you make up.
Who else? Wait, are
He
they
was
the
an
only
actor.
two? Is there? There's a third president who was assassinated.
There's 4.
Who are the 4?
Lincoln, McKinley, JFK, and
See,
the 4th.
why are we?
There's a 4th.
This is also part of it. It's like, why aren't we making ones up about McKinley and Lincoln? Is it just too old? Is it just too boring?
Listen, I agree with you. I think the miasma, the whirlwind around this one is far more compelling. It's more interesting. It's more.
This one has more weirdness to it than I think a lot of other ones. It just feels like, why are there so many strange pieces? There's I watched, a 2-hour YouTube video about it, which is the source of truth, to be clear.
Yeah.
And that also, it's like, it didn't make any strong claims, but it was just like, this is weird. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. Whereas, to be honest, ivermectin, not that weird. Like it's, you probably shouldn't take it. I just, this is the one where I'm like, okay, why is this so bizarre on so many angles?
That is the feeling I had. I read as much as I could about it, and I couldn't come to a conclusion. But even when I'm really putting my best hat on to find sources, like concrete sources, there are a lot of very weird things. Like people signing off on documents and saying, this is my official thing, and then retracting those things later whenever there's a lot of, I don't know, there's just weird things. It's just weird.
Isn't part of it feels like age of when it happened and available evidence. Like there's so much of this has to be the example you were laying out at the beginning. I remember hearing the same issue. It's like when you try to retread through what happened, because it just exists at a different time when so much less like camera footage and things like that is around, right? You're going solely off of people's recollections of what happened in a high intensity moment. And there's so many studies that have been done that people are, even eyewitnesses are actually very bad at remembering and recalling specific events that happen around or in front of them. And they tend to screw stuff up and make mistakes. Like that's a super common thing in criminal justice to begin with. And now you're going back to a time now with so many decades past where you're trying to like piece together the puzzles where you don't have enough concrete evidence to like build up something solid. So naturally things just seem weird. That's how I look at these things. Maybe it's because it's like at the end of the day, if the CIA did it, it's like, how much does that change? Am I crazy?
I mean, it would change a lot.
Am
for
I
me.
crazy?
If it came out unequivocal proof that the CIA killed John F. Kennedy in order to get us into more wars, that would be big.
I wouldn't like it.
I think that would be a big deal. You're acting like it'd be like, wow, it's so long ago. Who cares?
I mean, it's like
if it was unequivocal proof, that would be a massive deal. I think that would be crazy.
It wouldn't be good.
I think it would be like the biggest story ever. I can't imagine a bigger story than that.
It's like I still gotta.
You're talking about it like it's a bad pizza. It would be crazy. It would be unheard of. I can't even.
You're right. You're right. It's, but I'd still go to work the next.
I guess that's true.
I guess
that's true. We're still clocking in and doing the pod. You're still doing the yard.
Yeah.
You guys are cracking a couple jokes about it.
Would be that, Big A would make a clip. Maybe we would talk about the next week, but probably not.
It's tough because Occam's razor could explain all of it. Too. All these things could be people just trying to maximize their self-interest with an event happening.
I have a question. Do you know, because there was two, let's say, very high-profile conspiracies that the current Trump administration was like, when we get in power, we're unleashing it all. One was JFK, one was Epstein.
Yeah.
We're currently 0 for 2.
0 for 2, yeah.
Is there any follow-up, as of 2025? Why haven't they released the JFK files
So they
yet?
did release the JFK files, but a lot of them were still redacted.
Who are they trying to protect?
That's what I had a question.
No, I'm not saying that as like a funny joke. Who are they trying to protect at this point?
That was sort of my question. Is like, what is the point of all the hullabaloo around stuff like that when you get to release it with a bunch of stuff redacted anyway? It's like, oh, Mickey Mouse is finally public domain, and you find out it's just Steamboat Willie.
That's a step in the right direction. Yeah, they released 10,000 new JFK documents, but despite 10,000 new documents and a huge hungry audience of content creators and conspiracy theorists and YouTubers, and they had nothing new to say, really. It was all basically what had already been said, and anything new was redacted. So it was a shocking nothing burger, but it did lead to a lot of new books being released, which was interesting.
I think the ties to the big